friends. Today I'm here to take you through how to use your planning for your Cinderella story and turn it into the draft and soon the final Cinderella story that you've created. So let's begin. I have my story map here, and I know that I sent you one on a piece of paper. Miss Demos just has one on her whiteboard, but this is what I came up with on my story map. So I came up with the characters. So I wrote all the characters' names here. I won't read them all to you. I came up with the setting. The setting of this story is the Lincoln Park Zoo. And then I came up with a problem. So I said the problem is that Cinderella wants to visit Prince Eddie, her childhood best friend, in the Brookfield Zoo, but her step monster says no. And then I came up with a resolution as well. To remind you, resolution is a solution to the problem. So I said that the fairy elephant, her fairy godmother, helps Cinderella sneak out. Now, that's not a full story, right? It just tells us who the characters are, what the setting is, a brief overview of the problem, and a brief overview of the resolution. However, we know that in Cinderella stories, a lot more than that happens, right? So this is going to be a time for you to be totally creative and get to come up with all those pieces in between. And we're just going to be writing this on normal writing paper. So the writing paper is on the website, and I'll also include it on the schedule, and I'll even send it in an email in case your families need another copy of it. Now, if you can't print this, no big deal. You can just use a normal piece of white paper, or if you have some lined paper and a notebook, that would work great too. So I'm going to just show you how to start your story. I'm not going to write my whole Cinderella story in front of you, and then it's going to be your turn. So if we were together in class, I would probably ask you all with some suggestions of how I could start my story, but since we're not together, I'll have to do that on my own. So I was thinking it would be nice to start my story with how lots of fairy tales start, with once upon a time. So once upon a time. And then the next thing I'm going to do is introduce my main character. So after I've written Once Upon a Time, I might go on to say, once upon a time, there was a young elephant named Cinderella. And she lived in the Lincoln Park Zoo. There you go. I've introduced my main character and the setting of the story, right? And then I can continue on. I can talk about how she lives with her father, Papa Elephant, and her step monster, which is what she calls her stepmother, and then her stepsister, whose name is Prudence. And then I can explain, why she wants to go meet the prince and who the prince is to her. So I can just keep writing all these facts that I came up with in my story map and in my planning on my Cinderella character profile, and I can use all that information to create a Cinderella story. So this is really a chance for you to get super creative. This can be as long or as short as you want it to be. And again, if you need some inspiration, I read about 6 different versions of Cinderella stories that are all on the website. So if you need to go back and listen to one of them or listen to parts of a few of them to just kind of get in your brain what a Cinderella story sounds like, you can absolutely do that also. But really the rest is up to you. I just want to make sure that you have characters in your story, a clear setting, a problem, and then a way that the problem is solved, the resolution, okay? The rest is up to you. So please feel free to have your parents email me if you have any questions. And otherwise, get to work. And I can't wait to hear your Cinderella stories. They're going to be so awesome.